Well, they are a very, very, very talented team, and they have been thereabouts actually before they won their first All Ireland in 2017. And they were knocking at the door for a long time. But such was the dominance of the Cork ladies football team over the previous number of years that they just found it that maybe that little bit tough. And they've been obviously doing a lot of work with, say, underage, and there's a large number of clubs in Dublin also. But I suppose a big coup for them was getting the manager they currently have, Mick Bowen, back on board, who had been on board with them in the early 2000s actually, and he kind of got to build on the great work that was done by Greg McGonigal before him. And he's a very astute manager, a very serious man, and having worked, I suppose, in the Dublin men's setup as well, he had that experience to bring into the camp and been working closely with Jim Gavin. And I suppose that breakthrough in 2017 really got the ball rolling for them, and the momentum started, and it has pushed on ever since. And there was some people maybe saying in 2017, that there wasn't Cork that they bet in an All-Ireland final, and maybe it was just a flash in the pan. But I suppose they showed everybody then in 2018 when it came to Cork in the All-Ireland final that they were worthy champions. And I mean, even a few weeks ago, everyone was talking about the ladies' semi-final between Cork and Dublin as being made, possibly being the final in realistic terms, but and they overcame that again. So look, I suppose they have fantastic players among their ranks. They've a great setup. They've a very talented and as I said, very kind of, I suppose, ruthless manager in a way, which is kind of essential in the sense that he sees the task ahead and he picks the best players for the task ahead, and he has quite a number of players available at his disposal. Their bench is incredibly strong. So like that momentum that they've built up over the last 2 years now, I suppose it is huge, and it's a huge advantage to them going into the final. And it's no doubt that they are going to be favourites. As I said, they're twice All Ireland champions and going for their third in a row. And
one of their key forwards, Nicole Owens, is going to miss out through injury, Michelle, on Sunday. Do you think they have the backup to cope with a loss like that?
I think they do. I think they have actually great strength and depth in their panel, in their squad, and they have built on that over the last number of years. They've utilised a lot of players during the league time as well in championship. And if you think, I suppose, at the start of the championship campaign, Carla Rowe wasn't available to them at the time, and if you were looking at the performances and the scores that were going on the board, you wouldn't have said that she was been hugely missed. She came back in. Then you have Nicole Owens, who obviously unfortunately injured her knee badly in the lead up to the semi-final. She started and she only lasted, I think, for 3 or 4 minutes. But I mean, then you have subs come in that they just take the place, they take up the mantle, and they roll with it. And the last day also, you didn't have the likes of Noelle Healy starting, who would have been a standout player probably over the last number of seasons with Dublin.
Is she the obvious replacement for Nicole Owens on Sunday?
I suppose she is, to be honest. If you're looking at it like that, I suppose she is. But the thing about Mick Bowen is you'll never know really what he is going to do, and he'll be planning out his team to combat the likes of Galway. And I suppose leading up to the semi-final, maybe it might have been felt that Nicole Owens wasn't having the influence on games that she would have had maybe in previous years, and his decision to drop her may have come as a surprise to some, but maybe not to others. But she came on and she had a huge impact in that Cork game, and she had a hand in nearly in every score they got especially in the second half. And so I suppose to some people she would be the obvious choice, but to be honest, it's very hard to predict what Mick Bowen is going to do on any given day.
Exactly. And looking at their opponents, Galway, they're back in their first final since 2005. He played them in that quarter final in that monsoon down in Longford. Michelle, where are their strong points?
Look, they're there on merit, and I suppose in fairness, it was a cracking game between themselves and Mayo, and two teams who knew each other very, very well, and went at it from start to finish, and they came out on top and showed some real grit and character in that semi-final. And maybe it was something that people might have thought they would have been lacking in previous years, was to have that grit in their play and their determination to kick on. But look, they were league finalists also, so it just goes to show, this year they really have worked on pushing on just that little bit step further. Look, a key thing for them, I think, this year, even I suppose when we were playing them and having watched a lot of their games, is they would always have been pretty good defensively to a degree, and would have probably worked on packing out that defence, but maybe their attack didn't have the speed and the deadly kind of finish that might have had before. But they really have worked on that this year, and they have some excellent runners in the likes of Louise Ward, Megan Glynn, Olivia Dively, and I think they are going to be the key players come Sunday, because Dublin, I mean, as I said, they're quite a formidable outfit, and they get back pretty quickly and are very strong and very physical in the tackle. So, I mean, if you can run at them through the centre in strong runs and break open the space, which I think the likes of Divley, Ward and McGlynn do very, very effectively, then maybe they could pose that scoring threat to Dublin. Having said that, as I said, Dublin are pretty formidable when it comes to defence, and they probably have the quickest counter-attack in the game, to be honest. So look, while Dublin will definitely be hugely the favourites going into the game, there are some key aspects of the Galway's play that might trouble Dublin on the day.
And you're going to be part of TG Cahir's coverage on the day, Michelle. It all starts at 11:40 on Sunday. Have you enjoyed your punditry work with them so far? Oh,
it's been fantastic, to be honest. I mean, I got involved in a leadership programme in the ladies football at the start of the year, and entered into the PR and media strand, and it's been a huge learning experience for me, and I suppose a bit of personal development as well, and getting to see that side of the game and that side of things on match days, it's been pretty fascinating. And look, as I said, I've always loved being involved in ladies football in whatever capacity, and I suppose this is just maybe a slightly new avenue that's kind of opened up to me, and I've really enjoyed it. And I suppose the people I've been working with have been great to kind of, I suppose, mentor me and show me the ropes all the way along. And it's been great to get to see such fantastic games as well all year, and to see it from, I suppose, a slightly different aspect and a different angle, and so thoroughly enjoying it and really looking forward to Sunday. I mean, as we said, it's the biggest day of the year, and hopefully a lot of people will be attending and also be tuning in as well, just to see how things go. So yeah, really looking forward to it.
Well, thanks for dropping in today, Michelle, and enjoy all the action on Sunday.
Thanks very much, Tomas.